Hey guys, welcome back.
As of February 26th, we have now been on the property for 2 full years. If you haven't already, we did one of these videos last year at our 1 year mark, so go back and check that out because this video we're going to go over the things that we've done for this past year, kind of what worked, what didn't work, what we wish maybe would have went better, the things that we saw going differently in our heads. Just a little bit of everything. So the first thing we're going to start with is what we got done this year, or what I like to call how much of my list did he get done.
So first things first, we got goats. We knew we would get livestock at some point. We were not sure what breed that would be or what livestock it would be. Well, it turned out to be goats.
So with the goats we found, we were able to get 4 adult females that were currently being milked, and we were also able to get 2 doelings that were born this year. In an orderly fashion, one at a time, no pushing, no shoving.
One goat down. Don't let her get it all, ladies. There we go. Come on, you can do it. Good girl. Come on. They're all jumping off the trailer. You can jump off the trailer.
So we were able to find a couple of bucks. We have one we're getting because he's showing the qualities we hope to bring to our herd. The other one, he's a little bit smaller, but he is very friendly. He was kind of a pet of the owners and everything, got spoiled a little bit when he was young. So he's very friendly, he's buddy to the other one, so we're getting 2. But that way when we keep the boys separated, they have each other and hopefully less likely to try to get out and to go visit the ladies, and they'll keep each other company. Little one.
So we also went ahead and got chickens. That was like number 1 on my list. I really wanted to have egg-laying chickens. And so we went ahead. We have some Jersey Giants. We have Rhode Island Reds. And then we also have Americanas. And this last week, they were finally old enough that we actually got our first egg. So we're super excited about what we're going to be able to do with all those because I like to cook. So we have chosen to get chickens for egg laying.
We're getting some Jersey Giants, Rhode Island Reds, Americanas, I believe that's how you say that name, and we got 2 guinea fowl.
So one of the big things we got accomplished was the addition. It started off as a porch, then we decided to add walls to it to make an addition, to add some square footage to our tiny cabin, to give us more livable space in our area. The final design of it, our footprint layout, is still to be determined, but when you're in a smaller tiny space, every little bit of square footage you add on to can make a big improvement.
And to be fair, it wasn't our original plan to close that in. We had actually planned on leaving that as a porch. But there's going to be some things later on in the video that will kind of explain why we made the decision to go ahead and close it in, and what kind of jump started that whole project basically.
We've got started on the addition onto the cabin, which will, once we get it finished, we'll figure out exactly what we're going to use it for. We have some different ideas we're thinking about right now, but we'll wait till see how it finishes out.
So now we're going to get into the things that worked for us, and I assure you that this list is fairly small for this year. I think that that's just part of having property and trying to get things done and having a homestead or a farm or anything like that. Things go well, and there's things that just don't.
Things need improvement.
Or there's that. You can learn a lot. The first thing that really went well was getting salvage material. We have tried as much as possible to, if we can tear something down that helps someone else out by getting that tore down, and then we can reuse those materials, that's what we try to do. It's better for the environment. It's definitely better for our budget, because we do try to keep things on a small scale for our budget. And it really helps. On top of that, it's great for being creative and learning how to work with the things that you have instead of always going out and buying things new. There's nothing wrong if you have the ability to go out and buy brand new things. I mean, in a lot of ways that would be great. But at the same time, this is what works for us, and we buy the new things when we need the new things. And if we can save in other areas, that's what we'll try to do. So whatever works for you is what, is going to work best, and that's what you need to do, and this is what we're trying to make work.
Today we're going to be helping out a friend. Well, they're actually helping us out. They had a lean-to structure that was on their property when they got it, and they decided they do not need it. So that works out in our favor because we need a lean-to structure. So we're going to take that down for them and remove it, and we're going to salvage some of the materials out of it to help us build a lean-to barn. A barn in shape of some type for the goats, and we'll see what we can use. So this is the first load of the secondhand building materials we have to improve upon our barn slash goat structure for the ladies. We're considering putting it over here, and there's a little bit kind of a flatter spot for the grade. Pile of building materials, one empty trailer. Time to go get the second load. So today's project, let's get this roof down and this little bit of a deck pulled off of here. As you can see, no more base for the chicken coop, no more roof, all gone.
One of the other things that has worked out well for us was switching over to a bladder tank instead of the tote the trailer to get the water. Well, that worked out great. Pulling the trailer with a tote full of water, with our driveway having some challenging spots,
And the weather that made it too dry or it was too wet,
it made it hard to pull that weight up the driveway. So one of the things that has changed along with getting bladder tank was that we end up getting a truck. And while it's older and has some higher miles on it and requires some maintenance and some work, it has really helped out with getting some of the material up here. because we switched to a bladder tank. While the bladder tank is the same size and carries the same volume and weight of water as the trailer and tote did, how it's being carried has made all the difference in the world. Because even pulling the trailer up with a truck full of water, the truck could still have some hard times with it. But with the bladder tank sitting in the back of the truck bed over the rear axle, it has helped out with the traction, and driving up the driveway has been a lot more uneventful, peaceful, calmer.
Except for that one time when you lost the bladder tank down the driveway.
Well, yes, except for that one time when I heard something loose in the back of the truck, so I thought I would check on it, and the tailgate was down, and I looked in the rearview mirror and seen the bladder tank rolling down the driveway. No, that was not on film. It was very much a Scooby-Doo cartoon of watching it in the mirror going, this is not good. But I was able to drain the tank that was stuck on a tree on the side of the hill there, and get the tank back up, go refill the tank the next day, and get water back up here. So it definitely has been a learning curve up here. It's definitely not flat. That is something very new to us.
But this has been a huge improvement.
Yes, is the truck, the bladder tank, huge improvement. Wish we could have done it a lot sooner. So one of the upgrades or improvements we were able to do this year was our propane storage. We had 2 40-pound bottles that we were using for powering the generator and cooking with, and that worked great. They're relatively easy to handle, maneuver, but they don't last as long. With getting propane filled at one of our local filling stations, the gentleman there, he works on lawnmowers and other small engines. He goes, hey, I have a neighbor that has 100-pound tanks that they just upgraded to bigger, but they're considering getting rid of. So we were able to make a deal that we agreed to. So now we have 200-pound tanks, which one of them will last just about a month, depending on how much generator runs, depending on how much building we're doing and power need. But being able to, that's one less trip you have to make to get supplies in and out.
Which is a big deal in the wintertime.
Big deal in wintertime, a lot nicer to go, okay, when this tank runs out, it doesn't matter if the driveway's all iced in, we have another tank ready to go. We have the 2 small tanks for spares. And when it came wintertime, at one point we did run out of both our big tanks. And we just used the small tanks because they were easier to maneuver, to get down and filled and bring back up. But we still have some goals on improving to a bigger supply of propane. But once again, our driveway is not suitable for a big delivery truck. So that's going to take a little bit more time and planning to see how and what we decide to do with that. So now we're going to start the list of what did not work out very well, what was failures or challenges, or what greatly needs improvements.
This list is much longer. But starting off the list is having an older tractor. Parts of that are great, and the fact that he can work on those tractors has been great, but it's a guarantee that when you need it the most, that is when it's going to break down on us, and that's what we've dealt with.
Don't know if you can see or not, but that's what it's supposed to look like. Not this.
Doing a little bit of a test mow. I still don't have proper working hydraulics, but I do have a new problem, and I have a squeal. I don't think it's the fan belt. I'm pretty sure it's something with the hydraulic pump. One problem may be solved and a new one to figure out.
We have the hydraulic pump out. Only had to take out the tank and probably more stuff than a good mechanic would have to do, but I never claimed to be a good mechanic. But if you can look and see the keyway that connects the shaft, the drive shaft to the pump, is completely gone. So this was just spinning freely. which I suspect that's why my pump started squealing. So as you can see, I managed to break my center link. This chain right here, well, it's probably not approved on any measures as far as safety. Will work as a center link, so I can finish up a little bit of mowing until I can get by the farm store to pick up a new one. So I finally got a new center link for the tractor, so I don't have to use the chain.
So with reviewing the tractor and the headaches and problems with it, a lot of people would go, well, cut your losses and get rid of it. One of the biggest reasons we have hung on to it is older, is everything is very much mechanical, and that makes it a little bit easier for me to work on it. I like mechanic work, but I'm not a mechanic. But some of the challenges with it is just age and maintenance, and the frustrations came out with the timing. You know, when I bought it, I knew it needed a hydraulic system serviced, and we have done that a couple times now. I just didn't realize how many times we were going to need to flush the fluid, change it out, change the filters. You know, it needed a fuel pump, it needed a hydraulic line. That just goes wear and tear with older machines. But with one of the great things that has happened this year was we have made some new friends, and those friends, they had their friends, and I was casual conversation talking about the tractor and one of the problems I was having. He's like, what's going on with it? So I told him. He's like, hang on, I'll talk to you later today. And on the return phone call, he had talked to his friend that was very familiar with these tractors and said, no, you have a good tractor, it has good bones, and just stay working on it. You'll get everything taken care of, and you're going to have a great small utility tractor that'll still service you for many years. So that's our plan. That's what we're doing, because you know, come every month, one thing about that tractor, there's no payment. So it may be broke, or it may require some maintenance, but there is no payment with it, and that's one thing we were after. Now, don't get me wrong, one day I would love to have a newer tractor.
Still, maybe not a new tractor though.
Maybe not brand new, but no, four-wheel drive, hydraulic front-end loader maybe, no. But it's a utility tractor that can do a lot of things, but can't do everything, and it does have its limits, but it's what we need to get started with. And right now, it's changed the hydraulic fluid again, so the hydraulic system is working well. So we'll monitor that and see how well it goes. And as soon as we can stop doing emergency repairs, we'll start doing improvements like some cosmetics and some of the smaller things that need work, but are not critical for day-to-day operations, like the alternator. Fairly sure it's not charging. But right now I can just charge up the battery and jump it off, and we're good to go. So charging system is waiting, but we'll get to that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about having an older tractor is sometimes it mows the yard and sometimes it's a yard ornament. And worst case scenario, if it gets bad enough, you just plant some flowers around it, put it in the right spot, and now it was meant to happen. It's purely decoration.
It's right there. You hurt his feelings.
I know. The next thing that we're going to talk about is water heaters. And ours are more water and really no heater. It has been, I would say, a fairly decent frustration. It has been my biggest frustration, I think, this winter, because there's nothing worse than a cold shower on a already cold day. So we'll get into more details on that, but I think this has, for me, been one of the most frustrating fails, really.
So it's time to upgrade a hot water tank. That was never meant to be a long-term hot water source. Of course, I didn't get water drained out of it. We had freezing temperatures and it broke. So now We're, middle of winter. Put the RV water heater in there. Move our water lines inside, and hopefully have a much better hot water source.
So our first hot water heater was just a very simple, off-grid, buy from online, simple, propane tank, water comes in, heats up, goes out. It's made to hang on outside the barn or wherever you're camping at. And it worked-ish, kind of. It's made to be outside, but it cannot handle freezing temperatures.
Or hot days either, really.
Or hot days, it would get too hot.
You either scalded or you froze.
So it did not have the just right finesse of adjustment that you really want when you're taking a shower. Temperature started getting cold, so I unhooked the water at night and drained out. Well, evidently at one point I did not get all the water drained out, or it froze earlier than I thought it did, and it busted a pipe inside. So we went to go get a shower that night, and it's not working. Go outside and water spraying all over the place. So no hot shower that night or warm shower that night. So then it was what kind of hot water heater do we want, and how quick can we get one here? So we're back to shopping online and trying to find the fastest delivery, which was
Not fast.
not fast. It was like a week out, I think.
Which then extended twice.
There's a problem. Oh, tracking was coming along great. It's gonna be here on Thursday, and then
It disappeared.
it disappeared. Wait a few days, and we'll figure out what happened. Wait a few days. Go, hey, do you know where my package at? No, it's lost. We're just gonna refund you your money. You can order again. So no, now we're like 10 days out,
And this has been us getting showers with buckets of water and pouring it over our heads, and it was just way
times.
too Little House on the Prairie for me.
So get another one order. It only needed 6 days for delivery, and it actually came in on time. Get it set up. It seems to be working.
It was wonderful.
We got 1 or 2 showers out of it.
One.
And then for some reason it
Stopped working.
It turned out to it was the flow switch malfunction somehow. So if it's not reading water going through there, it doesn't turn the heater on.
Was it like a plastic part you said?
It was a plastic part that somehow
should not have been plastic, maybe.
It just disintegrated. So can't find that replacement part, so I have to, luckily it was in this time frame of able to return it, get another hot water heater. Of course, that's another 5 to 7 days out. So another 5
Back
to 7
to Little
days
House on the Prairie.
with buckets of water and boiling water.
It was not a happy time around here.
That heater comes in, works 2 days.
I think so, yeah.
And the flow switch malfunctioned again on it. So at that point,
I was starting to malfunction too at this point.
At that point, I was able to find that one was a different make and model, worked the same way, but different make and model. I was able to find a flow switch that I could just replace that part, and that came in like 3 days. So I ordered that. I technically ordered another hot water heater because I didn't know which one was going to come first. The part actually came in first, so I replaced the part, got it going, and it's been a week, 2 weeks.
I think almost 2 weeks.
That Howard showers.
Really good.
So I don't know if the showers are really that good,
Or
but
if in
because they're
comparison,
not that bad as they were before,
it's working.
it's
That's
working.
all that matters.
No, 6 months from now, there might be time for another upgrade.
But we'll go.
But
We'll see how it goes.
We'll figure it out
Yeah.
when we get there. So as of right now, I have a hot water tank working, and I have another one brand new in the box, ready to go if there's a malfunction, or maybe one day I'll have a hot water tank heater in my barn. I can take a shower in my barn when I'm a little dirty.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So the last thing that didn't work, and if you've watched the last video, you would know that, or not our last video, but the last time that we did a year in review, this didn't work the first year either. And I'm not sure if we're going to go round 3, maybe, but bees. And in all fairness, we know several beekeepers up here that we are friends with,
Master beekeepers.
and they have lost hives of bees as well. The only thing we can really think of is that between severe droughts, and it has been terrible up here, and then extremely high temperatures during the summertime, and then extreme low temperatures in the wintertime, it's just been weather extremes. That's the only thing we can really think of that is really messing it up. So we've debated like change of location. Larry's been looking at changes of box styles.
Different hive types, and there's many different ones. And the style that we're using right now is very popular for commercial beekeepers, and it works, and it's a very good system. But it's also a very good system for a beekeeper that can be right on top of everything and monitoring their bees. And unfortunately, I'll take some responsibility of but all the projects we have going, I probably have not maintained and cared for them hands-on as much as I should have. But I'll still go for a third time try with bees, but I'm seriously going to consider changing the style of hive that we have to see if that can make improvements. We're going to change up the location, and we're going to it might not happen this year. It might end up waiting until next year, because I'm going to try and make sure with all the scheduling of everything that takes time on a homestead in your house, make sure I can have the true time the bees require and need. And to be fair, I don't know if the bees just left. I don't know if they're just gone.
I mean, we do have honey, so that part was good. We do at least have that.
So I don't know if it was they swarmed out, then the bees left behind didn't decide to stay. Not exactly sure what the problem was, but no, year 2, no bees. So hopefully, at some point we'll be doing a review video going, hey, we got bees, we have several hives, and everything's going great.
I mean, in some ways, I'd kind of like to do a more traditional box and then do the one that you're looking at and see kind of which one worked better, and see just kind of what we find with all that. But, you know, we're from Florida. The weather up here is different. We're not sure of exactly how to handle everything. We've done the things that our friends have said to do, but, you know, maybe if you're watching this and you're a beekeeper and you have any ideas, let us know in the comments, because at this point we're looking for any ideas that anyone might have and try things.
And what's your favorite hive box type? You know, do you like the top bar? Do you like the traditional boxes, deep box, a shallow box, a medium box?
Yeah, share that with us.
You know, we do read the comments, and we do try to comment back.
So this brings us to our next section, which is a harsh review of our goals from last year, whether we actually accomplished them, if we've started to accomplish them, or where we're kind of at with all of this. But a good indicator of how many of our goals we met would be this video right now, because we started this out and you can see we were in different clothes, and the goal there was to finish it all in one day. And here we are, what, 2 days later? Yeah.
2 days later.
So, as we were.
So goal 1 was exploring the property. One of the things we look forward to doing is exploring our 32 acres. We want to do a lot more exploring the property, and we plan on taking you along with us as we explore all the different corners we have.
Not really.
While we did done the majority of our exploring, and we did some work to find our exact corners, survey markers. We have those located, but we have some very steep parts of our property to actually walk that property line and to make sure it's marked and understand where it's at. Between the projects and weather and just
remembering that was on the list to get done. We still have mainly one property line still to be explored, and it's one of the exciting parts I want to explore, but no, we just haven't got to it yet.
All right, goal number 2. That brings us to rainwater. One of the big things I know for sure is on my list is our rainwater. So I don't know if you've paid attention watching our videos, but a lot of times we'll start something and it's kind of like a test run. And we see if it works or if it doesn't work before we really invest too much into it. So we did one small rain barrel to collect rainwater in, and we realized how well that works. Right now it basically flushes our toilet, is what we use it for. This year our goal is to start doing a lot more with it. We are looking into the health and safety factors of being able to filter this water and potentially use it for other things: laundry, washing dishes, taking showers in it, and maybe even drinking water. We're gonna see kind of how it goes and where it takes us.
Not so much.
We did make some improvements. We have our collection buckets. They are fully covered now. We've made some modifications to the gutter system.
Our first flush system still has a lot to be desired. We have made improvements, has some setbacks because of freezing temperature and water expanding, breaking things. So it definitely needs a vast improvement, and we have not even started yet on filtration system for any of our rainwater.
No.
But we have learned a lot, and we have a good game plan on how to make improvements to deal with all the challenges we have learned from so far. Goal number 3 was a better water supply for the garden, so we can have a bigger, better, more productive garden and a bigger yield. One of the challenges we had this year was the garden and the drought. We did not have a water supply adequate here to supply the garden, so the garden really suffered, and while we still got some crops producing, the yield was minimal to non-existent. Increasing our rainwater collection should mean that we can supply the garden as needed with water that it requires. And hopefully we won't go into a record drought, so it'll be a little bit easier to increase our yields for our garden.
Yeah, that was a no.
Yeah, just too many projects going, and we have not accomplished that one yet. We have made some plans. We're talking about figuring out a good location for a pond, so that way we could water from the pond. Work on possibly getting a spring developed on the property, and we're talking about a secondary location, part of the property that seems to hold moisture a little bit better. So this year we're kind of addressing the issue, but not to the level that we were hoping to.
Yeah, so check back next year. We'll see if we've made any improvements there.
So goal number 4 was developing this area right behind us.
One of the areas on our property that we really like is this space that's kind of behind us. So it's kind of a low area, and then we have the gorgeous views off the back, and we have some things we want and have planned. It's something we have talked about since we pretty much moved onto this property, and it looks like that's going to be getting done this year. As you can see, we haven't started on anything, but it will be coming. Weren't we cute last year with all of our confidence that that was definitely happening? It was getting done. That was like, I'm pretty sure it was like number 1 or 2 on our list. And
no problem.
Yeah, that was a solid no. Like, there is nothing's developed. Nope, not even a little bit.
Part of the delay was just timing of trying to work on certain projects, trying to work on the garden, the tractor not being fully operational at different times last year. That kind of stopped us from some of the project and clean up. So hopefully the tractor's back on task, and our timing and time management be up to par.
Hopefully the budget will be better for it as well.
Better budget, better timing. Yeah, should work out perfect next year.
Absolutely.
Goal 5. Um, that has to do with our generator becoming a secondary source of power, not the main source of our power.
One of the improvements we're looking forward to making this year also is our power supply. While the generator is great and it's been a great primary source, the goal is to make it a secondary source of power, and that we can have more sustainable, renewable energy for our primary source of our cabin and doing projects.
No,
We have not arrived at our destination.
Not 100%.
No.
The generator is our main charging system for our battery banks, or to battery packs that we have. They're just two of the very simple, basic plug-and-play systems you can buy off the shelf. And while our lights and water pump is all powered from that, the main way we charge them is still from the generator. And when we do any of our projects, the saws and any major construction, everything is ran off of generator power. So we still have a long ways to go. We have made improvements, but we have a lot more improvements we're hoping to make, so that way the generator running becomes less and less.
Yeah. I mean, we're not relying on battery powered puck lights anymore. So that's a good start.
That is true. No, we're not tripping over AAA batteries all over the place. So goal number 6 was getting a barn built.
One of the things that we're definitely going to be getting done really soon is getting a barn built. Also a no. Probably the one that Larry wants done the most. But
building shelter for animals was more important, and a barn being built, a workshop would be nice. So we're not working on projects or vehicles or tractors and equipment out in the open, or having to pull tools out, put tools back. It would be a huge time saver. At the end of the day, there's ways to work around not having a barn or a workshop. So it'll get there.
all right, so goal number 7, getting animals. Up for debate for us right now, every time we go to Tractor Supply or Rural King, is the possibility of having some animals on the property.
Yes.
Yay, we accomplished something. Not in the order we actually expected, however. We planned for chickens, and the first thing that arrived here were goats. But we love the goats. The goats are going fairly well. I said fairly. And they are exciting, and they bring so much joy and exercise, chasing them down, getting them back in their pens, to all of us here. But sometimes you run into a deal and it just works out, and that's what happened with the goats. And then it was, maybe a week or 2 later,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started getting chicks, and we have currently arrived at a rooster crowing now and getting some eggs. So it's a start.
So goal number 8, big changes to the cabin.
We have quite a few things that obviously you guys know we have planned. And one of those things is going to be some big changes coming for the cabin. So you're going to see some really big changes coming to the cabin and what we're hoping to get done with that. Yes, mostly.
Well, there's still a lot of plans for the cabin. We have made some huge comfort improvements, upgrades. One of them is in the bathroom. Still have a lot of trim work to do in the bathroom, but we seem to have a more stable, steady hot water.
Yes.
For showers.
Yes, and there's a lot better organization of the bathroom. We have warm water to wash our hands with now instead of stuck with ice cold or
on demand.
Yeah, on demand water. So much better. So yeah.
I mean,
that's been big.
All the lights now are ran off the battery bank, so we can come in and hit a switch and light up the lights in the bathroom, or light up lights in the hallway, or light up lights in the living room. It's kind of a little bit of choices, not a one switch for everything or wait for a generator to crank up before you have lights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so far the new hot water heater seems to be working. I'm afraid to talk about it because I don't want it to break. But it seems to be working well, so that is really, really helping. So what is that, lighting, the bathroom? Oh, and we closed in what we had originally planned was going to be a porch. That got closed in when we started to realize that there was no way we were going to have the other addition, the bigger addition that we wanted to do, done by the time wintertime came. So we started closing that in, and part of that has been due to us having a really big schedule change this year, which we will actually talk about in a little bit.
So now we're going to take and list out our goals for this coming year of things we hope to accomplish and improve upon and get done.
All right, so number one goal for this year is going to be building a barn. Now that we have the animals, when we go to build this barn, we'll be taking into account the things that they need as far as like hay and feed storage and a milking area and different things like that, as well as what we kind of need for a workshop and how we want to set all of that up.
So goal number 2 is greenhouse and garden. With one of the side jobs that came up this last year, we acquired a small, simple 20 by, I think, 10-foot wide greenhouse frame. So we're going to work on getting that set up so we can start our own seeds and do a little bit better with our sets. With our regular garden, we have our location we've been using, plus we have another location on the property that seems to hold moisture a little bit better. So if we have another dry season, maybe the plants and yield will be better because of water being there. But we'll see. Every year's been a little bit better, or been a better learning experience. So we'll see how far we get.
All right, so number 3, rainwater collection. And this is going to kind of be a continuation of what we had hoped to do last year. We're really hoping we can make a lot of differences in what we currently have and see kind of how far we'll take it. It would be really helpful if we don't fall into a drought again this summer.
Very helpful. Number 4, we'll be getting a pond dug to hold water for the garden, for livestock, for anything we need it for. That will also include trying to get a spring developed. So if all goes well, maybe get the spring development that will flow to feed the pond. So we'll have a continual water supply. And maybe that will all work out and be very nice in that area behind us. But we'll see how it goes.
Number 5, my personal favorite.
Mine too.
I started to say, improving the kitchen. So right now our kitchen is so small that you could extend both arms and you could be cooking and grabbing something out of the refrigerator at the same time and leaning against the wall, and you would still all be in one single space, because that is what we have. It's like a kitchen closet, really. So this year we are hoping for the first time in, when was the last time we had a real stove and oven?
3 years.
Yeah. So hopefully that will be one of the biggest improvements, and hopefully a few other things to go along with it.
Number 6 goal, we'll be exploring the property. Like I said, we have one main property line we have yet to explore. I know the beginning marker, I know where the ending marker is, but the in-between we have not physically walked yet. So the goal is to walk it, video it, and kind of really show you our property layout of, you can see behind us, we have some incredible views, but we also have some very nice woods and different topography and slope to our property also.
All right, so goal 7, the last goal, is really not much of a goal at all. It's more of something that we hope to be able to update and see where we go with everything. But that brings us to the livestock and what we're going to do with them. We originally got goats and we had these big ideas that we were going to milk them because they're dairy goats and make soaps and sell goat cheese and goat milk and things like that. And then we've had some other things that have changed up our schedule quite a bit. And so now we're kind of revisiting the idea of what do we want to do and do we want to do this in baby steps. And so that's kind of where we're at with everything. We'll also have all the eggs, which will be way, way more than what we can eat. But there seems to be plenty of people around here that if you have extra eggs to sell, they would rather buy them from someone local than buying them from the grocery store. So I think we'll be okay there. I'm really curious to see in a year what we come back and update with, because there's some things on our updates from this year that we were so sure we were going to accomplish and didn't. And then there were things that we accomplished that really weren't on our radar fully. So we'll see. Should be interesting.
This part of the video, we're just going to label as personal updates and homestead updates of things going on, challenges of the homestead and things that take up time, and where's all of our time spent.
So I have been one of the big factors in where's our time spent. When we first started all of this was the main thing that I was doing. And then this last summer, I kind of started noticing that some of our local schools were really short on having teachers. And I kind of started looking into it and I debated. We have a middle school, high school combination, and then there are several elementary schools. And I have taught anatomy and physiology and ethics, medical ethics, and things like this before, but that was to adults. And while I love to teach, I had not really taught children. I used to work in 4-H, and that's similar, but still not the same thing. But it was something that we talked about. And one of the things that we had talked about when we moved was that we always wanted to support the community that we lived in. And so I decided that I would go ahead and be a teacher. And I really had considered doing science at the middle school, high school. And then my mom is a first grade teacher in Florida. And I thought, I've always enjoyed going and volunteering in elementary school. And for a long time, I actually wanted to be an elementary school teacher. And so I decided to go ahead and pursue that. And so I applied for a 4-5 split position at one of our local schools. And that's what I have been spending a lot of my time doing. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of work. And I spend a lot of my time now doing my lesson plans, and I don't get to be out helping him as much. I've had several tests that I've had to study for and some classes I have to take and things like that, just because my degree is not in elementary education. It's a science degree. And so it's been a lot. And I still have 2 more tests that I have to finish, which I cannot wait to get that done. But overall, I absolutely love teaching, and I'm hoping that my class enjoys having me and planning some of the fun things that I have planned. And that has actually taken away some of his time as well, because he has come in and helped me with classroom setups and building things for my class and just several different projects and things like that. So but that has been one of the biggest areas where we have lost time, because when you go from having 2 people doing a project to now down to 1 person working on a project,
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
And I cannot work on things as well as he can because I don't know how to do those things. But just having an extra set of hands and someone who can take direction pretty well does really help. So that's mine.
So one of the challenges with any homestead, once you start having livestock, is keeping your livestock healthy and well. And one of the challenges was with our goats. Unfortunately, we have lost 2 of our goats, 2 different times, 2 different problems.
Both during the winter.
Both during the winter.
Very harsh winter this year.
Very harsh winter. We have done our best to keep everybody healthy and on top of things, but no. I had a old time rancher one time said if you're gonna have animals and livestock, there's gonna be bad days along with the good days, and if you can't handle that, don't have livestock. And he's absolutely correct. There are some very rough days when you're losing livestock and you thought you had everything prepared for them.
And just to kind of clarify, because this is something that happened a couple of weeks ago, we will update when we're ready to update on things, but we really try not to get into the dramatics of some of the channels with the, oh, well, we lost this, and it's such a big deal on their thumbnails and just different things to try to get views. We take owning animals very seriously, and those animals we're not putting them out there for that. That's not what they're here for or anything else. So we're not going to dramatize something that is so serious and should not be made out to be that way.
Along with that, we do want to be honest and transparent with y'all of, not everything is bright sunny days,
walking around in perfect white dresses, doing our farm work and chores and things like that.
Our homestead is not that way. We want to be honest and transparent with you. Yes, we do try to show you all the good things, but we want to be honest and sincere with y'all and tell you about the challenges also.
And also not capitalize off of things that are sad situations, because there's nothing about losing an animal that is a good situation or should be capitalized off of. So that's it for this week's video. It's been a lot of fun recapping all the things that we didn't get done and the few things that we did get done, and being able to laugh at ourselves for our ambition and lack of follow through, evidently. So, but if this is your first video with us, thank you for being here. And if you have been hanging out with us for the last 2 years, that is wonderful. And we hope you continue to hang out with us. We appreciate everyone who supports us, who likes our videos and comments on our videos and follows us on Facebook. We will be getting better about that and trying to be on there a little bit more, but that is probably the area that is our weakest link. So
we have a few.
Yeah. But thank you again for hanging out with us and supporting us.
Give us a comment below. Tell us what videos y'all are interested in. You have an idea of what our projects are going to be. Or if there's something different, let us know. Until then, we'll see you next week.
If you would like access to exclusive videos and perks, click the link below to become a member.